Welcome to our deep dive into one of the most legendary aircraft of World War II, the North American P-51 Mustang. In this one-hour journey, we'll explore the incredible story of this fighter plane, from its origins and development to its battlefield performance and its lasting legacy in aviation history. Grab a cup of coffee, sit back, and join us on this flight through history as we uncover the story of the P-51 Mustang, the plane that changed the skies of war forever. Before the Mustang soared through the skies of Europe and the Pacific, the world was facing an escalating global conflict. As World War II erupted in 1939, the major powers began to invest heavily in air power. Germany had its feared Luftwaffe, Britain its resilient Royal Air Force, and the United States, though technologically capable, had not yet entered the war. Fighter aircraft at the time were largely short-range, lightly armed, and often outmatched by enemy planes at higher altitudes or longer distances. The British Spitfire, the German Messerschmitt Bf 109, and the American P-40 Warhawk were all vital fighters in the early years of the war. But none had the combination of speed, range, and firepower that would become essential in the later years of the conflict, particularly for escorting bombers deep into enemy territory. And then came a request that would spark the birth of a legend. In 1940, the British Purchasing Commission approached North American Aviation with a request. Initially, they wanted the company to produce Curtiss P-40 Warhawks under license. But the engineers at North American, led by Edgar Schmude, had a better idea. They offered to design a brand new fighter aircraft, from scratch, and deliver the prototype in just 120 days. Astonishingly, they did. On October 26, 1940, the prototype, designated the NA-73X, took to the skies for the first time. Its sleek aerodynamic design and innovative laminar flow wing made it stand out immediately. The British were impressed, but early Mustangs were powered by the Allison V1710 engine, which lacked high-altitude performance. Despite this limitation, the RAF put the Mustang to use, primarily for low-altitude reconnaissance and ground attack missions. It wasn't until someone had the idea to marry the Mustang's frame with a Rolls-Royce Merlin engine that the magic truly happened. The marriage of the Mustang airframe with the British Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, famously used in the Spitfire, changed everything. With the new engine, the Mustang gained excellent performance at high altitudes, increased top speed, and improved climb rate. The result was the P-51B and P-51C variants, the first true high-altitude fighters of the series. Soon, the P-51 Mustang was flying alongside and then ahead of America's bomber fleets, protecting them deep into German territory. Unlike previous escort fighters, the Mustang had the range to go all the way to Berlin and back. And it had the power to take on German fighters like the FW-190 and Bf 109 head-on. It wasn't just good, it was a game-changer. The most famous and most produced version of the Mustang was the P-51D. This variant introduced a new bubble canopy for greater visibility, 6.50 caliber Browning machine guns, and improved aerodynamics. It was fast, over 440 miles per hour. It had range, nearly 1,700 miles with drop tanks. And it was deadly, capable of shooting down enemy fighters with precision. Bomber crews came to love the Mustang. They knew when the Mustangs were overhead, they had a fighting chance to get home. And Luftwaffe pilots came to fear it, calling it one of the deadliest adversaries in the sky. By mid-1944, the tide of the air war over Europe had changed. With the Mustang leading the way, American air power reigned supreme. From escort missions to dogfights, the Mustang proved itself time and time again. P-51s flew with the 8th Air Force over Europe, helping cripple Germany's industrial heart. They swept the skies ahead of the D-Day invasion. They hunted down the German jets of the Me-262, and in the Pacific, they flew long missions over Japan, sometimes covering more than 1,500 miles. Among the many aces who flew the Mustang was Major George Preddy, who scored 26.83 air victories, most of them in the P-51. Others, like Bud Anderson and Chuck Yeager, also made their marks in Mustang cockpits. Perhaps no sight was more reassuring to a B-17 crew than the arrival of a Mustang wing overhead, banking into position, with the rising sun gleaming off its polished fuselage. After the war ended, thousands of P-51s were sold off or stored, but the story didn't end there. The Mustang flew in the Korean War, initially outperforming early jets like the MiG-15 in some roles. It was used by air forces around the world, from Israel and South Africa to Indonesia and the Dominican Republic. Civilian racers also fell in love with the Mustang. Modified for speed and performance, it dominated air races for decades. Even today, dozens of Mustangs still fly, lovingly restored and maintained by enthusiasts who understand their historical importance. The P-51 Mustang is more than a fighter plane. It is a symbol of engineering brilliance, international cooperation, and wartime heroism. Its impact on history is undeniable. Many historians credit the Mustang with turning the tide of the air war over Europe. General Dwight D. Eisenhower once called it one of the weapons that helped win the war. Its sleek lines and powerful roar are iconic. Its story has inspired generations of pilots, engineers, and historians. It represents the power of determination, innovation, and sheer will to win. Thank you for joining us on this flight through history. The P-51 Mustang remains one of the most beloved and respected aircraft ever built. From its origins as a rush design challenge to its role in changing the course of a global war, it is truly a legend of the skies. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and check out our other videos on the history of aviation. Until next time, blue skies and tailwinds to you.